Can we reach everyone? No. So what should we do? Welcome back to Preborn Defenders 101. Every time I'm at a school or a downtown square with a photo of a baby killed by abortion, I look at our team, I look at those walking by and realize there is no way we could physically reach everyone. We can't speak to everyone. So what I want to do now with you is consider not necessarily what we should say, but to whom we should be saying it. To make the biggest dent in a culture permitting injustice, we need to focus on a group often overlooked, those who maybe seem to straddle the fence. They're not yet fully committed to a position, even if they lean in a direction. And I want to introduce you to a young man like that, a guy I met outside of the Ohio State University. What do you think about abortion?
I don't know.
Do you think it's, what do you think about racism? Is that right or wrong?
Wrong.
Okay, well, abortion is killing someone not because of their color, but because of their age. They're too young to be born.
Right.
So it's ageism. What do you think about that?
I feel like it might be wrong as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if a parent kills her 2-year-old, we all think that's wrong. You shouldn't kill your toddler. Right. But the toddler's just 2 years older than the baby. So again, I'm 34. I'm older than you probably, right?
Yes, definitely.
So, but you're not any less valuable than me. We're equal. We're humans. So same with the young babies in the womb. They're younger than the born children, but they're still human.
Right.
How old you are doesn't define you.
Definitely.
Describes you. So that's what abortion is, killing someone who, just because they're younger than us, they're treated in ways we'd never treat you or me.
Dang.
We find that wrong.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Yeah. It's definitely wrong. I agree with you there.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, I think there's a couple of reasons sometimes preborn defenders are tempted to overlook people like him. First of all, he can't get pregnant. Now, we readily dismiss that, right, though, because we know that men get women pregnant. So certainly this young man could have one day participated in a discussion of whether or not to have an abortion. But second, I think we sometimes overlook people like him because we think, well, our goal is to end abortion. We need to focus on those actively seeking to support abortion. And if we can change their hearts and minds, the whole system will crumble. Now, that is noble, but I think it's misguided for a couple of reasons. And this is why I think we need to seek the uncommitted. Because first of all, while this young man might not have been an abortion advocate by his activity, he certainly was by his inactivity. Because failing to take a position against something or for something, by default supports the status quo. It accepts what the state has declared. The status quo is that babies may be killed in America. And failing to condemn that status quo by default condones the status quo. But secondly, also, let's think about our mission. We are not necessarily going to convert everyone. That is not necessarily what we're going to achieve. What we want to do instead is to reach enough people, to change enough hearts and minds, to turn them for the babies, to make a cultural change for the children. That means we must reach a lot of people as quickly as we can. This young man, in the space of just a minute, went from saying, I don't know about abortion, to it's definitely wrong. Because while he was indifferent, he was not blinded by partisan spirit to the evidence. So all I had to do was find something on which he was not indifferent, racism, and show him how that same conviction ought to motivate him to also oppose abortion. Now, please don't get me wrong. We need to be willing anytime, any day, anywhere to engage anyone on the topic of abortion. The truth is not intimidated by pro-abortion rhetoric. Also, we should never deem someone incapable of making change. But defending babies is not an intellectual game. There are real lives at stake. Real babies are dying, and we need to change as many minds and many hearts as possible to save lives now. That might mean we have to seek out the audience most willing to listen to our evidence. It might also mean sometimes we need to decide that a conversation going in circles where there's not change happening, we need to set that aside in order to focus on those who may be more willing to honestly engage with our conversation. But there's one final point today, and that is that even though he was the perfect audience, his indifference to abortion also meant that this young man was very unlikely to seek you out or seek me out. Sometimes those who are most likely to be able to be moved on abortion are the least likely to investigate the issue, to come to their own conclusion, to a fully informed conclusion. So we can't wait for them. We have to go to them. That's why Created Equal goes to schools, to downtown squares. What can you do? Well, email us at contact@createdequal.org for ideas. We'd love to help you out. Together, we can settle the facts. We can create dialogue. We can be preborn defenders. Join us next time for more.